Welcome back to Orange Peelers. Round 1 is finally over. It only took 2 weeks, but it's round 2 now,
What a
Zane.
round, though. I don't think it's to the level that last year's round 1 was, but it was still a decent round. You know, some memorable moments, some good games, some poor games.
I remember
that's just how round 1 is.
Last year's round 1, I swear we were sitting here saying it's like the best round 1 ever.
I think
it was sensational. I remember there was like the Eels Storm Golden Point game, Panthers Broncos,
Dolphins beating the Roosters.
Bulldogs got towed up by Manly.
I think Cowboys Raiders was like a 1-point game as well.
Yeah. So it definitely wasn't up to that level. But footy's back. I'm not complaining at all.
Don't care.
I'm seeing people complaining about some of the games. I'm like, footy's back, baby.
Why
cares? Are you complaining?
Footy's on. Just watch it and enjoy.
Man, round 1, it's rugby
league. 30
league.
weeks of this a year.
Yeah.
Then when it's not on, everyone's very upset and regrets that 100%. They didn't take it all in.
The same people that are complaining about some of the games on the weekend are the same people that complain about footy being gone in 30 weeks. So just enjoy it. Enjoy the rugby league. It's back. But I guess we'll just get straight into it, Zane.
Only 6 games because we did review the 2 Vegas games last week. If you haven't seen that one, go watch it. If you want to hear us talk about the Vegas games, say you're a Seagulls, Roosters fan, whatever, we talked about them last week.
Broncos, great shout, Zane.
This week, we start off with the Knights and the Raiders, which were on Thursday night.
Yeah, the Thursday night game. What do you make of this one?
Probably not a game that I would have wanted to see on prime time Thursday night, but for a round 1 game, I guess, it's a learning curve for both sides. Raiders, again, I think they're going to prove everyone wrong. Everyone has them bottom 4. I don't think they'll finish that low.
Yeah.
Both sides did make finals last year. The Knights went on that magical run. However, it doesn't look like that will happen this year. They looked pretty poor in this game.
I told you what I thought of the Knights at the start a couple of weeks ago, Zane, when we did our predictions. I said bottom 4, and they played a bit of bottom 4 footy on the weekend.
Yeah, it's only been 1 game, so still not confident enough to back it yet. But
boy, the Raiders, though, they looked much better than I thought they were going to look.
I feel like they're going to be in that 7th to 11th sort of position.
Where they always are as well. They're always there. They're just always battling for that top 8 spot. I think that's how Ricky Stewart likes to coach his sides. Did you see in the sheds they had that?
Yes.
I'm not going to repeat what it says.
I literally saw a video about it 5 minutes ago before we started filming.
You've done your prep. But that's very Ricky Stewart, I think. But it was a very Ricky Stewart win.
And I think that is aimed towards the media who write them off.
Yeah, 100%.
I don't think it's aimed to going at the other team. I think it's aimed towards what the media think of them.
But I thought, I agree. I think it was more about the critics and that. But it was a very Ricky Stewart win, going up an away game. Round 1, Thursday night footy. Everyone's saying, why is this a Thursday game? Giving the Raiders no chance of winning. And he just goes up there. And they didn't just win. They won convincingly.
Yeah, they won pretty well.
I don't think they won a game 13 plus all of last year.
No,
and they come out round 1 and win 13 plus this week. Who are some of your players in this game that you thought were outstanding or, better than you'd expect? For example, Zach Hosking had an insane game. And
people are calling him for Origin. I wouldn't back that just yet. Give it a few more time.
I'll tell you a funny story.
He played very well.
On Thursday, I have uni on Thursdays, and shout out to my mate Josh. Me and him were sitting there, having a cheeky punt on the Thursday night game, putting our multis together. And I was very high on Dylan Lucas. He's in my Supercoach side. Yeah. And I was telling my mate, get on Dylan Lucas to score a try. And he was saying he wanted Zach Hosking as a try scorer. He was putting Gagai and then someone else, and he was very, very adamant that Zach Hosking was going to score a try. And I'm like, nah, no way. Like, he's not going to score. Get on Dylan Lucas. And then obviously Zach Hosking went on to score a try, but literally 60 seconds before he scored that try, my mate messaged me and was like, I've got a feeling like Zach Hoskins is
going to score.
And like that's not. He hadn't watched it. It's not like I was delayed or anything. He just genuinely. We were just talking about the game, and he was like, I was like, saying, nah, Dylan Lucas. And he said, yeah, I've got a feeling Zach Hosking. And 60 seconds later, crosses first try scorer. So maybe we need to get Josh on the podcast to do some predictions.
Maybe.
He's done better than I have. But you said Jamal Fogarty.
Yes, I thought. But, overall, you look back at this game, it was reasonably forgettable. Like, there were moments I remember, but it wasn't even a week ago, and I'm already like, spectacular.
I thought Fogarty's kicking.
Obviously, there was the late shot on Ponga from Hudson Young, which I disagree with totally.
Really?
Yes.
What, you think that wasn't a late shot?
I think he was trying to stop. I don't think he meant to run into him there.
That was a sin bin all day.
Yeah, I look at it, I just feel like he was just running and didn't even mean to run into him.
Oh, he pushes him.
Momentum.
Even Ricky Stewart admitted he pushed him.
Yeah. Oh well.
I think that was definitely a sin
on the
bin.
cameras.
Yeah, no, I thought definitely a sin bin. I thought he had all the time in the world to. Like he had stopped, and then I feel like he stopped and then just pushed Ponga over.
What do you make of Ponga's performance though that game?
Well, he was
that's
my
a big talking
he was
point,
my
isn't it?
captain in Supercoach, Zane, and it's safe to say I was very disappointed in the performance. I
Knights
thought
have a lot of halves.
I
a
thought
lot of squad
Ponga
players.
I thought Ponga tried very hard, and
I thought he
don't
tried
think he
well
played
as-
as bad as
yeah.
everyone's suggesting. I think maybe his Supercoach scores are impacting people's opinions a bit too much, but he definitely wasn't as good as he was last year. But it's one game.
Yeah, exactly.
He'll be back.
Yeah,
And
Tyson Gamble.
Tyson
Do you reckon he's a
Gamble,
lock for that spot for now?
I think he stays there.
Or when
for
do they bring
now,
Cogger in?
but I just am very confused by the rotation they used. Like when Cogger came on, I think he came into hooker and Crossland. No, sorry, I think Cogger came into the halves and Crossland went to lock or something. I don't know. I couldn't really work it out, but they had Cogger, they had Hastings, they had Crossland and Gamble all on the field at once. And
Yes.
in my opinion, none of those 4 players are a lock. You know what I mean?
Locked into their spot.
No, as in a lock, as in as in 13.
Oh, yeah, no,
like-
God, no.
But
God,
one
no.
of them was
I thought
playing.
it was the same, yeah.
Yeah, but one of them was playing 13.
Yeah,
Like,
I
why?
think- yeah, it wasn't Cogger, was it?
No,
It
I
was
feel
13.
like Hastings might have gone to 13.
Probably.
but
Well, I
don't know.
mean,
can't
didn't
think
the
what
Tigers
rotation
show him
would be.
there at one point?
Yeah, and that's
As
why I
well,
was like,
yeah.
maybe, and that's half the reason he left the Tigers.
Yeah, he didn't want to play there, so...
I don't know what Adam O'Brien was thinking.
I feel like Hastings needs to be there still.
Yeah, I think Hastings.
Yeah, if they're going to rotate one out,
Yeah.
it has to be Gamble for Jack Cogger.
Yeah, I think so.
I think that's the way I'd do it.
I think I'd leave Hastings and Gamble together for now, but I wouldn't be bringing Gamble on into the. I wouldn't be bringing Cogger off the bench into the halves mid-game. I think whoever your halves are to start the game, they should be playing 80 minutes unless they get injured, and that goes for every single team.
Yes.
If you want to have a 14, they should come on into hooker, and your hooker plays 60 minutes or 70 minutes. Or if you're lucky enough to have a hooker like Brandon Smith that can go into lock, then you push them into lock. But for me, Phoenix Crossland isn't that sort of hooker.
Yeah, so no,
and so
he's
you either
got-
have Cogger come
he has
on
his
into
moments,
hooker,
doesn't he, Crossland?
or you don't have him on the bench. To be honest, have another forward there. You should not have your 14 coming on into the halves. It's
Yeah,
as simple as
it's
that.
strange,
Maybe
but-
you start with Cogger and you have Gamble as the 14. I don't know.
Gamble can play multiple positions.
Yeah,
so
he
it wasn't he
can.
14 at Broncos when he was there?
Yeah, he was.
Yeah, so, you know,
exactly.
there you go.
But yeah, it was a weird one for me. I definitely had questions about the use of Jack Cogger. I think also, I don't know if I've said this on the podcast in the season preview or not, but I think Cogger's overrated a little bit.
You reckon?
Because
he was at Penrith, yes.
He killed it at Penrith and he played a huge role in them winning the grand final. There's no doubt about it. But this is a guy who couldn't get a start at the Bulldogs when they were winning wooden spoons. He left the Knights when they were getting wooden spoons. And where was he in between Bulldogs and Panthers?
Where was he?
I don't know.
Yeah, there's no
And
way.
that's like,
Yeah.
I don't know. Like off the top of your head, you can't tell me where he was because he respectfully to Cogger, and once again he killed it in the grand final. And if he wasn't in the grand
In the
final,
Penrith
they don't
system,
win
though.
it.
In the
But
Penrith system.
he was a forgettable player before he entered the Penrith system.
I heard of his name, but it's
And
like
yeah,
never
so
thought
I
of a
wouldn't be.
star
I
or
don't think he's good enough, and I'm happy for him to prove me wrong. This isn't against him, but that's just how I feel. Before he came to Penrith, he was irrelevant.
Yes.
He was.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, but he was. So yeah, I don't know if Cogger's the answer. Once again, he killed it at Penrith. Maybe he is a better player off the back of being in the Penrith system. 100%
Yeah, so I
that's
mean,
a
every player
possibility.
that goes
But
there seems to thrive. So
yeah,
it'll
exactly.
be an experiment to see
and
how
I
it
thought he
goes.
did all right on the weekend to his credit as well. And in the trials, he did well. But that's just where I sit. I'd be going with Hastings and Gamble for a few weeks, and then if they don't click, then I'd probably go Hastings, Cogger. But yeah, that's where I sit. What about you? Where do you sit on it?
I'd go keep Ponga at fullback. Don't even
Yeah,
attempt him
don't
in
move
5'8"
Ponga,
again.
please.
No. Then
Please.
I'd try Cogger at 5'8".
Right
Hastings.
now, if this week, would you
Yes.
put Cogger there?
No. I'd keep Gamble for now.
Yeah.
But if it
it
worse comes to
doesn't
worse,
work,
yeah,
yeah.
that's how I'd do it.
Yeah. So yeah, same. We're the same there. The Raiders, they were pretty good.
Raiders.
What do you
were
make
good.
of the young debutant
Ethan Strange?
Ethan Strange?
He
at
was
6?
good.
Yeah.
For his first game, he went okay. Like,
Yeah.
He didn't do anything extraordinary.
Yeah,
but,
he didn't
I
set
mean,
the
it was a
world alight,
debut.
but
yeah, that's all he had to do.
played.
Did his job.
I think there was one or two maybe bad defensive reads, but
That's
I mean
just-
they won,
I mean,
and
it's
that's a
debut,
half.
so,
it's also
yeah.
a half. Like name a half that's not missing any tackles. Matt Burton, he misses plenty of tackles, and he's still the best player in the
Cody
world.
Walker.
Cody
He's one that
Walker,
misses
yeah.
plenty
So
of tackles.
obviously you're gonna miss tackles in the halves, but no, I thought Ethan Strange, held his own. Who I'm trying to think, who was at fullback?
For the Raiders?
Yeah.
It wasn't. It was a young guy, wasn't it? It wasn't.
Was it
Chris.
Rapana?
Rapana was.
Rapana
yeah, it was.
I
No,
thought,
it wasn't a young guy, no.
because he did good. Rapana at fullback.
That's just experience.
And Savage. I'm thinking of Savage.
Savage was on the wing. Yeah, he had a good game. Yeah.
I thought Savage did very well on the wing.
Rapana, that was just experience, I guess.
Yeah, very much.
You
think he holds?
You can put him there, just he'll do
You
a
think
job.
he holds the fullback spot?
Oh.
Because I think Sebastian Chris comes into the
If
side.
the wingers work out the way they're going at the moment, then yeah, I guess because he doesn't have long left.
I think it's
either,
out of him.
Rapana.
I think it's either Chris. It'll either be Chris center, Rapana fullback, or vice versa.
Yeah.
Like Savage is a winger.
Rapana's coming towards the end now. So
Yeah, he is.
I'll just let him buy his time.
Shout out to Jordan Rapana. He's very much of the Cody Walker mold, in my opinion. An angry person. Jordan Rapana. I feel like he's got a bit of a brain explosion in him sometimes. Let's move on to Warriors Sharks, the Friday night footy.
Yes, missed the first 20 minutes of this game because we were having a competitive game online, but
That's
when I
ironic.
turned it
So
on,
you missed the Warriors' dominance in the first
when I
12
turned it on,
minutes.
12-0 to the Warriors, 20 minutes in. I'm like,
Yeah.
the Warriors might fly away with it here, but then somehow the Sharks just held their guard and just managed to scrape through.
Somehow,
which I don't think they deserved overall. I still think the Warriors were the best side.
Well, somehow is the right word, because if you like just watching the game, Warriors were on top for
but they
nearly
blew their
80
chances
minutes,
towards the end.
and that was the key. The Warriors kept not capitalising, and the Sharks did capitalise on the very few occasions that they had the ball.
I wasn't stoked with Cronulla's performance though. Overall,
Neither
with the Warriors. But
if you look at the Bulldogs Eels game, just as an example, I feel like both games felt the same in that one team was just dominating for 80 minutes, but the difference is the Sharks scored points when they had their chance, and the Warriors didn't.
Do you see a slide from both these teams this year from what you saw in round one?
Well, I predicted both teams to fall out of the 8, I think.
I think I had the Warriors in my 8 still.
The Warriors, I thought, look good enough to play top 8 footy, and obviously the Sharks won. I think both sides look like they can play top 8 footy. Doesn't mean they will, because it's a very competitive
Man,
footy
it is round one again, you know.
Yeah, it is round one.
Give them a few more weeks and watch how they play then.
I'll tell you what, you got to give Sharks the credit where it's due. Beating Warriors in New Zealand.
Yes.
I
think no one over there expected that to happen.
Yeah.
Either.
But
correct me if I'm wrong. Warriors have the round 27 bye this year, do they?
Oh, that's a good.
I'm pretty
question.
sure. I'm pretty sure it's the Warriors have.
I'll have a look, because I didn't even think of that. I remember Eagles had it last year.
Yeah, I'm pretty.
I thought it was going to get
95% sure it's the Warriors that have it.
Let's have a look. No, they play Roosters. Oh no, that's round 10, not round 27. Hang on, let me cook here. Tell me about the game while I look for this, Zane. What did you make of the Warriors fullback?
The young guy?
Yeah.
I thought he started off very well.
Yeah.
Like in the first half he killed, but in the second half I thought it was very quiet. Yes. Well, there we go.
Warriors round 27 bye, so that could.
That's interesting. Who's got round 26? Actually, I want to.
Let's have a look.
More of these.
The Tigers.
Tigers and 25.
Do you want me to just go through all the buys?
That is the last one.
Cowboys. So Cowboys, Tigers, Warriors get the
final 3 weeks.
I guess, I don't know if you want to call it an easy run home. It depends on who else they play, but they do get the late buys, which they can be handy. But obviously, as I said, like last year, I thought Eels would get into the easy, Zane. A bit too excited. I thought the Eels would get into the top 8
with that
off the back of the bye.
Yeah, but it cost them in the end.
They ended up 2 points short.
That game.
Yeah, they needed to play it, I think, but for for and against purposes. But yeah, overall, a lot of people, have the Warriors Sharks game as maybe one of the lesser games of the week.
Yeah,
I thought
it was pretty forgettable.
It had its moments.
It had some moments. It was a 12-0 comeback, which isn't incredible, but I think the Warriors just started off so well and they just blew their chances in the end.
I do have to give another shout out to Nats Rugby League Corner on Instagram, Zane. 12 minutes into the game, Warriors are winning 12-0, and they post on their story, "This is a Warriors domination, are you watching?" And from that moment on, the Warriors didn't score another point. Is that one of the great commentators' curses all time?
That is a curse. That's embarrassing.
Curse. That's an early crow. Let's go to Storm Panthers. Another game that's getting a lot of bad raps.
I thought it was an awesome game.
I thought it was almost game of the week. It was expected
Melbourne
to.
Were outstanding.
The defense.
Melbourne. I was sitting there that entire second half. I'm like, okay, this is the set where Penrith finally score, and it just didn't happen.
You know
what I blame? No Stephen Crichton.
Yeah, they were missing that
in those clutch moments when they need someone to score. He would have been that guy in that game.
Yeah,
I guarantee if he plays that game, they would have scored.
Yeah,
some town.
100%. And
in that second half,
the commentators, as it got later and later in the game, they kept saying, the Panthers, they got to go to Taylor and May. They got to go to Taylor and May.
Well, they couldn't because Storm just rushed out there.
Last year, that man was Stephen Crichton, and Taylor May's a great player. It was his first time at centre, and he's only young, so it's a big difference between Crichton and May. You know what I mean? It's a big difference to be relying on Taylor and May for the big moments. And obviously, they have clearing that, and that's obviously you rely on clearing that as well. But when usually
I thought he had a
You
quiet
have
game,
your
Cleary.
strike centres. You have your Latrell Mitchells. When he was at the Roosters, it was, get the ball to Latrell Mitchell. We saw it in the 2019 grand final.
Greg Inglis.
And Greg Inglis.
Towards the back end,
get
at
him the
least.
ball. And that was Stephen Crichton of the Panthers. And we saw it in the grand final. Obviously, not taking away from Cleary's incredible 20 minutes, but Stephen Crichton played a big role as well.
Yeah, I
scoring
thought
a
Cleary
try.
was very quiet on Friday night.
Yeah, he didn't.
He
I thought Lua as well was quite quiet.
He didn't have the chance to do anything.
Yeah.
The Storm just shut him down so well.
I think, a lot of people are saying, the Panthers' attack wasn't as good as they would have wanted, and obviously it wasn't. But the Storm's defense, the defense was just so good. I remember back in like the Cameron Smith era, we're talking, pre-2020, the big three were around that. There used to be a saying that like the Storm could defend their own line until May. Like they could defend their own line for months, and that's what we saw on Friday night. It felt like if
I look at their side on paper, I'm like, how are they still doing this well?
Yeah,
like their spine's incredible, but I don't like their forward pack.
They're a smoke. I've said it in the preseason prediction. They're a smoky for me to win a comp.
Definitely could win the comp.
They've got forwards to come back into that side from the round one. They've got Nelson and Bloor as well, who could explode under Bellamy.
He wasn't there, but
I think he's injured. But
Penrith, on the other hand, I'm not worried about him.
Yeah. Well, they lost round one last year and they won.
They got Parramatta this week, which we'll talk about soon, but that's going to be a very interesting game.
Oh, yeah, because Eels have their phone number when it comes to regular season. But overall, what can you say? Storm don't lose round one.
No, they don't. The NRL were very clever this year in putting them against Penrith to try and end that curse, and they still dominate. And who are they going to make them play next year?
Well, probably just the grand finalists. Maybe they'll get some Greek gods to come down and give them a run for their money because nobody in the NRL is beating them in round one. Yeah, I reckon. I learned my lesson the hard way. Is I never tip against Storm in round one.
Oh, I don't think I ever will again.
I changed my
until
tip.
they lose round one. I'm never going to again.
You can't. You just can't. I mean, obviously, there's talks that it's Craig Bellamy's last year, and if it is, maybe then.
I think this is finally it.
And that's one of the reasons I had Storm, as a smoker to win the comp because I think
they'll send Bellamy out a winner.
They'll send Bellamy out a winner.
I can see a world where it happens.
Yeah.
If they play like that, they can definitely win the comp.
100%.
And they'll make it a very exciting final series if that's the way they're going to play.
I think it also just adds, obviously it adds excitement to the season with, at the moment the NRL is who's going to beat Panthers. They've won 3 in a row. That's how it feels. And Storm have shown now that they can beat Panthers. And if you watch the Panthers documentary about the grand final and the three-peat and that, Ivan Cleary talks about how Storm are probably the side he hates playing the most just because in his experience, he's been around since early 2010s maybe because he was coaching Warriors and stuff. And so in his experience, Storm are just always impossible to beat. And he's never... I think last year was the first time he'd gone a season without losing to the Storm. And so this just adds fuel to that narrative of, Storm are a tough side. You just don't bet against the Storm in round one. But when Storm are outsiders, you almost have to back them in just because more often than not they win. I'd like to see a record of how many times have Storm won as outsiders. Because they're not outsiders often.
They're not outsiders very much, are they? No.
Like
so that's an interesting stat.
I remember...
I'd like to see that stat, actually. How many times have they been
and
outsiders?
I wish I could find someone to pull it up. Maybe random stats guy reach out, get that stat up. But I remember, was it 2020, maybe 2021, maybe 2019, the Storm Roosters game, where I think Kyle Flanagan was playing for the Roosters, so it would have been 2019,
2020,
maybe.
no, it would have been.
2020. And they had that game where I think Kyle Flanagan kicked the penalty goal to tie it, Luke Keary kicked the field goal to take the lead, and then Paps kicked the field goal right at the end, and then I think they won by a penalty goal.
Yeah.
And I remember they were outsiders in that game, and that was like one of my favourite games of all time.
Oh, yeah. Was that the one at Suncorp? Yeah.
Yeah, it might have been, yeah. But I think, as I said, the moral of the story here is don't bet against the Storm round one.
Yes, never will again.
Clip this up and play it next year because just don't do it.
Never going to do it again.
Eels Bulldogs, Zane.
You can start with this one.
And that's enough Eels Bulldogs. Let's go to Titans Dragons. Eels Bulldogs.
Eels played well. Bulldogs.
Didn't play well. It's pretty. I thought I'll give you some in-depth analysis here, Zane. I think it was 8-0 with maybe 10 minutes before halftime. Let me get it up.
14-0 halftime, wasn't it?
It was 14-0 halftime, but I think it might have even been. Gus Gould said it was 3 minutes before halftime that Bryce Cartwright scored, so 4 minutes. So 35th minute, Eagles are winning 8-0. They had all of the possession. They had all the ball, and not only did they have all the ball, they were attacking the whole time.
Defended very well in the first half.
And that's what I'm getting at. Up until the 35th minute, the Bulldogs' defense was almost, and call me this might be too big of a comparison, but it was almost Melbourne Storm like. the amount of defense they
Right,
did
right.
for only for the first 35 minutes, but like to hold Eels to 8-0 based on the possession and the field position, I don't know how they did it, but then they leaked a very soft try to Bryce Cartwright in the 35th minute, and that blew it to 14-0, which was a close reflection of the game. And then the second half, the same thing happened. The Bulldogs defended really, really well. 35 minutes, they let in one try, and they were actually winning the second half up until the 76th minute. So 75th minute, they were winning the second half 8-6, and then they let in another soft try. And I think that just sort of reflects the game. The Bulldogs, they were defending and defending and defending, but you can't defend forever. The fatigue set in. They let in soft tries, and their attack was clunky. I don't think.
Yeah, no. Well, you
they,
didn't
like-
back Critter to score, did you?
No, I did. I did actually. I
backed
did
him
say
score
to
as a
someone in
forward.
like a pre-game vlog or interview or something that Critter would score, but not on the podcast. Who did I say? I don't even remember
You
who
said
I
some
said.
forward, didn't you?
I said Marnie. Terrible take. He had a
something like
shocker. But I just also want to say the Bulldogs defending so much, it was their own fault they were defending so much.
Yes,
They made
they
lots
kept
of
making
errors. They gave away lots of penalties.
But Parramatta won this pretty convincingly.
Parramatta did
Dylan
win it
Brown had a
convincingly.
very good game. Gutho was good as always.
Gutho was good. Brown was good.
Cartwright
was
so
sensational.
back
Moses
to
was
his
good.
best, isn't he?
Morgan Harper.
Oh, he had a
He had a
solid
good
Yeah,
game.
got to try that.
Yeah,
Cartwright's back to his, I
he's
think he's better than
certainly
what he
back to his
was
best.
before his peak. To tell you the
Yeah.
truth.
Well, I remember back in the day, he was like at
Penrith, he
Panthers and was a great
outstanding,
player.
but then he went to the Gold Coast, and I think he had like off-field issues.
Yeah.
But then he's come back to Parramatta, he's killed it. I
He-
feel like he's in for a big
He
year.
had I don't know if you call it a breakout, but like a bounce back season last year. Played really well.
He's playing better than
He's
what
gone
he
to
did
a
at
whole new
Penrith, I
level.
think.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah, he was very, very good. But overall, like the Eels, like obviously I've just said wrapping the Bulldogs defense. At the end of the day, Eels easily the better team, easily deserved the win. As I said, the Bulldogs didn't help themselves, but at the same time, Eels did a very good job of keeping the Bulldogs under the pump and forcing errors, earning penalties. So it's a credit to the Eels. They were just very much the better team, and I think although like a lot of people are saying if you look at the stats, it looks like it would have been 50 or 60-0.
Yeah, if Parramatta could
I still,
execute. Yeah,
I still think the
I
scoreline
don't think
sort
it
of
felt
reflects
like it didn't feel like that sort of game though.
I think the Bulldogs of
Bulldogs
last
were
year, the
in
Bulldogs,
it, that's the thing.
the
like,
Bulldogs of last year probably would have conceded that many.
40,
but
yeah.
that's like if you're a Bulldogs fan and you're coming out of this game going, oh well, last year we would have conceded 40, so I said as a win. That's not good. Like that is the sign of a
That's
a
still a 13
loser
plus
club.
loss, so
You know what I mean?
a
Like,
lot of things to work on if it's still a 13 plus loss.
like there
that.
are positives and there are negatives, but at the end of the day, if you're coming away with a 13 plus loss, thinking, oh, like that was, that's a win. That you're not going to be playing finals footy.
No.
It's like that's not a winner's mentality. It's a loser's mentality, and that's not where you want to be as a footy side, realistically.
No.
But what did you make of it? Do you have anything else to
I
add?
thought just Parramatta, they looked good. I want to see them play a top tier side.
Yeah,
Though. That's
yeah.
my issue.
Well, Panthers this week.
Yes, that's
Great test for them.
But they seem to be Panthers' bogey team. Like I want to see them
Yeah.
play like the Broncos or the Storm,
Yeah,
like
fair.
a side like that. Then I'll
They
probably,
play Manly round 3. So,
Yes,
Manly
again,
looks
Manly.
good
I'm in the
Vegas.
same position as Parramatta.
Manly, if
I want to see
way
Manly
they
play a
played
top tier
Vegas.
side as
yeah.
well.
Who do they play? Are they Broncos this week?
No, South of Broncos, Manly.
Roosters. Like,
Roosters, yeah.
That'll be a good challenge. If Manly can beat Roosters, and even if we see Parra lose, I think Manly Eels will be a good game round 3. But as I said about the Storm, I have them as a smoky to win the comp, as I said in the season preview. And same for the Eels. I think they're a smoky to win the comp, especially where my argument and a lot of people's argument against the Eels being a contender is they need, a strike centre or just, a slight improvement in the back line, and they need a better hooker. I thought Joey Lussick killed it, albeit against, the Bulldogs, but I thought Joey Lussick killed it. I thought Hens was good off the bench, and Morgan Harper was a very, very good at centre. And I thought overall just that, like I don't remember seeing any of the Eels back for the wingers and the centres and going, oh, like they're having a bad game. I thought they were all just, pretty good. But yeah, I've still got them as a smoky to win the comp, to be honest, as much as I'd hate to see it.
Yeah.
It's a shame it's 2024.
Yeah, I don't know. I just don't rate them the way you do.
And
They probably can prove me wrong.
this is
I
coming
just-
from a Bulldogs fan as well, mind you. But
I just don't see it with Parramatta.
But it's 2024. Obviously, the Bulldogs are winning the comp anyway. Let's move on to Titans Dragons and not another shock one,
Strange
but a
game.
shock one.
Strange game. I expected I nearly put the Titans as my shoe-in for the week.
Yeah.
Like, as my confident they'd win the most. And
Yeah.
They were terrible.
Obviously,
So I know no Dave Fafita, no Jaden Campbell, Kieran
No
Foran were
Kieran
about
Foran,
late.
yeah.
So they had excuses, but the Dragons played a lot better than what I thought they would.
I'll tell you what,
But the Titans, I give them such hope every year, and it looks like it's just going to be another typical year of the Titans where they'll come out, show up one day, a game, beat the Broncos, and then get smashed by the Dragons the next week.
I think it's concerning because we sat here last week and talked about how we're so excited to see them enter the Des Hasler era, and they're going to be so defensive. They leaked over 20 points to the Dragons, who came second last year.
Honestly,
Des Hasler would not have been happy with that.
It wouldn't have been. And he didn't look happy in the box either.
Yeah.
When they showed him,
but
he did not look
at the
happy
same
at all.
time, as you say, they were missing Campbell, they were missing Fafita, they were missing Foran. But let's also not take away from the Dragons. They were very good.
Very good.
They were very good.
Sloan had one of the top games of his career.
Sloan had the top game of his career.
The top game.
I haven't seen him play that good.
And Kyle Flanagan had one of the top games of his career.
He was in Roosters form. He hasn't played that good since the Roosters.
Had one of the
Moses
top games
Sully,
of his
Zach
career.
Lomax.
Maybe not top of his career, but
I thought he was very good. Just the forwards overall were very good. And
Jacob Little was very good.
Jacob Little killed it.
Ben Hunt did what he had to do.
The Dragons as well, they were missing Blake. I think they were definitely missing Blake Laurie. There might have been others as well, but they had to reshuffle their forward pack late. So let's not pretend they weren't missing players as well. But the Dragons were just so good. It's like an away trip to Queensland for round one is a tough card to draw. They played Dolphins round 2 in Queensland as well. That's a stitch up of a draw for the Dragons.
Like there's a chance they could win that game very well as well.
And so to go up to the Gold Coast and get the 2 points, that's so big because it changes the attitude completely. If you go up to the Gold Coast, you lose, you fly home, you're all depressed, and then you have to fly back to Queensland and do it all again. That's rough. But getting the win, you got an extra bounce in your step, and then you get to go up to Queensland and try and do it again. It's a big attitude thing. I think winning round 1 for the Dragons, big for their season. I don't have them as a top 8 side or anything. I think
they can play like that. They could
100%. If they play like that every week,
definitely don't think they'll get the spoon.
Yeah, no
Flanagan will
way.
not let that happen.
And he came out and he said that he was laughing at everyone tipping them for the spoon because they're not winning it.
I can see where they can push for the 8, like 10th.
If they play like that every week, they can play top.
Oh god,
top 100%. It's just a matter of will they play like that every week. We got to see the consistency. I thought you sort of touched on it already, but Flanagan and Ben Hunt, great together in the halves. I said to you before we started that they're looking good. Yeah, I thought they combined really well. You said how Flanagan, he's sort of freed up a little bit.
Yes.
As he's playing more of a 6 role than a 7. He's not controlling the team. There's less pressure on him. And that's elevated his game, hasn't it?
Yes.
Any other standouts in this one from either team?
No, I think we touched on all the standouts. Just the Titans are just, I don't know,
But I'm not writing them off yet.
I don't think they're going to be contender for the spoon. If they get the spoon, I'd be very shocked. I don't think Des Hasler would allow that, but they'll probably come out every few games and smash a side, and then they'll lose to a side like the Dragons, and then it just comes down to terrible reads in defence. I don't know what to make of them.
Yeah.
They need players to come back.
Very much a round 1 thing where it's you just don't know. I think there's almost every team. There's no team I can see getting the spoon.
At this point.
You know what I mean?
There's one, actually.
Who?
I think we're talking about him next, actually.
You talk about the Bulldogs, I just don't see them getting the spoon. Tigers, we haven't seen them play yet except the bye, but surely they've improved enough to not get the spoon. It's just very hard to tip who's getting the spoon. Yes.
Dolphins, Cowboys. If I'm giving myself an early shout for the spoon, I wouldn't write off the Dolphins.
And that's a hot take. That is a hot take.
They look like they haven't improved on the way they were playing at the back end of last year.
I'd almost say back end of last year they were pretty average. Hey, I was going to say they almost looked like they were going down a level.
They didn't look good.
They definitely weren't playing better than they played the back end of last year. I thought I didn't watch the whole game because I don't remember. I was at the basketball. Shout out the Illawarra Hawks.
Cowboys, however, on the other hand,
attacked
very well, and they completely dominated.
Zach Labart?
Yes.
Remember the name? Had you heard of him before this week?
Yes, I did.
Yeah,
last year.
He's a good player. I'd heard of him. Didn't know much about him, but he killed it.
He did.
He killed it.
I killed it.
Yeah.
All of the Cowboys. Hammer had a shocker.
Lukey had a pretty good game.
Hamiso had a terrible game. I don't know why, but he just
I actually
look interested in playing.
I took him out of my Supercoach team, I think, during the week or maybe the week leading up to Vegas. So I'm glad I took him out of my team. I added in Tuivasa-Sheck, thank you. But yeah, the Dolphins just not what they needed at all, especially after beating the Roosters round one last year.
Yeah,
I sort of thought that'd be of the Melbourne Storm mold, where maybe they don't lose round one either, but they definitely lost round one this year.
They got close to 50.
Well, they're in last.
Cowboys had a disallowed try in the last minute of the game, which would have made it 40.
The Cowboys also had a few allowed tries that were questionable. Saying
interesting, yeah.
The penalty try. Talk to me about that, because Graham Annesley has come out today and said that it should not have been awarded a try.
It was fine.
Really? You're 100% certain he would have scored?
I reckon he would have.
Yeah. Do you reckon, or are you 100%
I just reckon by the way
the
Dolphins played, they wouldn't have even got there either. So.
Yeah, fair enough. I wasn't watching it live, but based on what I've seen, I probably shouldn't have been a try.
My bold call, Cowboys top 4. Currently top of the table.
Yeah.
They're currently
fair
top
enough.
of the table.
They're in the top 4 at the moment. If we want to call it off,
they got the for and against advantage at the moment.
It's true. They very much do. And that can come in handy, the for and against.
I think Cowboys can definitely make the 8 this year, though.
The way they played on the weekend, there's no doubt about it, yeah. It's just a matter of, are they going to keep playing like that?
Yes, that's the problem.
Yeah.
When they come to Sydney, are they going to have that consistency?
Yeah, they're going to play like that outside of Queensland. I don't really have anything else to add to this game, because as I said, I haven't watched the full 80. I've watched the mini.
I expected this to be, I think I said on the podcast, high scoring.
Yeah,
that's exactly what it was. Hot day in Queensland.
Yeah.
A lot of tries, and that's exactly what we got
I tipped the Dolphins. Oh, I'll tell you what, Zane, actually. Now, I don't have it in front of me, our results from the tipping, but I started 2 from 2, and I finished 2 from 8.
I got 2 from 8.
So you got 2. So we both got 2 from 8.
I got Parramatta and I got the Cowboys.
Yeah, okay.
That's it. The worst round of tipping I've probably
I forgot to go
had.
through and count up the 13 pluses and the try scorers to work out who won. I will do that, because I'll try and... I remember halfway through last season, you were beating me by that much. I just gave up on keeping a tally. But I'll make sure I go through and do that so we can have the tally.
Currently tied.
Tied, so it'll come down...
2 out of 8 games.
It'll come down to the try scorers and the margins. It'll be interesting. I'm pretty sure in Vegas I got a lot of the margins.
You did.
Yeah, but you said it was 13 plus. That was correct. Who was your other one you got right?
I got Cowboys right.
And you said 13 plus there as well. So it's going to come down to try scorers, I think. So that'll be interesting. We're introducing a new thing this year, Zane. Our player of the week.
Yes. And
it'll roll into the player of the year. So let me just tell the loyal Orange Peelers listeners how this is going to work. Each week, me and Zane are going to give out a 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Okay, it's 5. I thought it was
it's 5.
3.
No,
okay.
sorry.
Let me
5.
Make a few
You'll
edits
have to add a couple of players. So obviously, after every game, the NRL will do a 3, 2, 1, and it's for the Dally M. We're going to do it after each week. We're going to pick 5 players from that week. The best player gets 5 points, 4, 3, 2, 1. The fifth best obviously getting 1. As I said, the numbers of the points that player receives, it's then going to go towards a season tally. So if you get 5 points in round 1, that goes to your season total, just like the Dally M system. Each week, if we both have the same top player, so if we're giving the same player 5 points, that player gets a bonus 2 points as a reward, because it's like a unanimous, they were the player of the week, so they get a bonus. And then at the end of the year, to try and differentiate it from the broken Dally M system, because I'm very against the Dally M system at the moment. Nico Hines getting 6 points on the weekend.
No.
Please explain to me how
I'll tell you why he did. Because
the
Sharks won, and there's no other player in the Sharks side who was capable of getting points.
And
that's how it works.
When we did our draft last week,
Nico Hines won it in 2022.
You said in our draft last week,
no one else in that Sharks team that gets points.
You picked Nico Hines, and you said because
he did not deserve 6 points in that game.
You're 100%
that's how it was going to work.
Spotto? You're 100% right. I don't know why I said Spotto. What you just said is absolutely troublesome, Zane. But yeah, so at the end of the year, to differentiate from the Dally M system, we're both going to give out 5 points to who we think was the player of the year.
Done.
So we're going to ignore... I'm going to do my best to get... You definitely won't be seeing the list, the tally. I'm going to do my best to not read the list, if that makes sense. I'm going to be updating the points.
Believe it or not, I got 2 players this week from a team I predicted to get the wooden spoon.
There you go.
In my list.
There you go. And so yeah, at the end of the year, we're going to give 5 points each. It could end up being more. It depends how... Because this is our first time doing it. Maybe 5 points is going to mean absolutely nothing at the end of the year. So maybe I'll make it 10. But we'll see how it plays out. But that's how the player of the week and player of the year is going to work. Let's get straight into our points for this week. Zane, you can kick us off.
1 point.
Yeah.
Try to do it like Dally M style.
Yeah, or 100. Yeah. Like when they're reading out of the Dally M's.
Okay.
Yeah. I won't. You go for your goal. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5.
1 point. Luke Brooks. 2 points. Zach Lomax. I don't know if you like that one. 3 points. Labour. 4 points. Bryce Cartwright. And then 5 points, believe it or not, I never thought I'd be saying this. Terrell Sloan, believe it or not.
Very nice.
He had a cracker of a game.
You've left out the bloke I gave 5 points to.
Who? Oh,
You'll
I think
find
I
out, yeah.
might guess who it is, actually.
All right, my turn. 1 point. Luke Brooks.
There we go, we're tied there.
2 points. O'Shea Ole. Nah. Remember that?
Yes,
remember
I do remember that.
2 points. Zach Labart. 3 points. Bryce Cartwright.
Got a similar list here.
Yeah. 4 points. Tyrell Sloan. 5 points. Zach Hosking.
Wow, I didn't expect the 5
I
point.
thought Zach Hosking
I didn't
was
expect
very
the 5
good.
point for him, though.
Yeah. That's why there's 2 of us voting, because, you know, if one of us sucks at voting, let us know in the let us actually, if you're watching on YouTube, or if you're watching on Spotify, go to YouTube, let us know in the comments your 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Maybe we take into account like the most liked comment. They go to the list as well. What do you reckon?
Fair enough, yeah. I
Yeah,
guess.
let's
We can
why
do
not?
that.
Let's do it. Screw it, because, you know, me and Zane, we can't tip clearly. We both got 2 out of 8, so maybe we can't vote either. If you're watching on YouTube or Spotify, go to the YouTube comments, leave your comment, the 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. The most liked YouTube comment by the start of the next round, so by Thursday night, the most liked comment gets to go onto the tally. Because why not? Why not?
So by the sounds of it seems like Terrell Sloan is in the lead.
Sloan's on 9, Cartwright's on 8.
Oh.
So they're the 2 leaders at the
Wow.
moment. Labart's up there. I nearly had Lomax in mine. Very hard not to put Lomax in, and obviously I had Hosking very high and you didn't have him, so I may have, you know, pooed the bed a little bit there. Let's move on to Zane. A new segment as well. We've got plenty of new segments.
Instagram Q&A.
Instagram
This'll be
Q&A,
interesting.
and there's lots of troublesome questions in this, Zane. The first question, this is for both of us. What's funny, mate?
No, continue.
The first question, the Smoky. Can you give us your Smoky to miss the finals this year? Sort of touched on
Smoky.
in the preview, but the Smoky to miss
So
the
a side
finals.
that no one would expect.
So
I mean-
I'll go first because I got mine down here. My Smoky to miss the finals, and this is sort of based on my ladder prediction. Knights. I don't know if that's.
I don't think they're
smoky enough.
smoky though.
And so I've also got
if
Sharks.
they missed it, I wouldn't be surprised.
And then
Sharks, I would be
yeah.
shocked.
So yeah, Sharks and Knights are my Smokies. They were
For
both
me,
in there last
my
year.
Smokies, the Sharks, but I'm also going to say the Rabbitohs.
Really? I think Smoky,
think
they
if
didn't make it last year.
Oh no, that's what I mean. Like, and a lot of people expect them to make. If they don't make it, it would be shocking. I think.
Yeah.
I think they definitely do. But
Yeah.
at the same time, I would not be surprised if they missed it.
Yeah. And then the next question, this is probably more so for me, but I'll get your answer as well. It's, would you bring in Jarrell Skelton into the Bulldogs side? Now, I'm going with no.
It's more of a question based to you, I guess.
Yeah, because I'm the Bulldogs
I'll
fan.
say no because I feel like the side they named on the weekend probably all are better players than Skelton at this point.
Yeah, that's very valid. And I'll go a little bit more in depth. If you watch New South Wales Cup, and I'm not saying this person doesn't, I don't want to assume they're not watching New South Wales Cup, but very much if you watch New South Wales Cup, Jarrell Skelton Jarrell Skelton makes way too many silly errors, unforced errors. We saw it in the trial games he did it, and he also still has not sorted out his defence. His defence needs a lot of work. I feel like Jarrell Skelton has a lot of hype behind him, and I feel like it's a lot of people that don't watch New South Wales Cup that are hyping him up and saying that he should be picked. He's not ready for first grade. He needs to sort out his errors. He needs to sort out his defence. And this isn't an attack on the person asking the question, but it does annoy me when I see people putting Jarrell Skelton into their sides because he's just not ready.
Fair enough.
Zane, a South Sydney question.
Okay.
Thoughts on South's 2024 future with Arrow now out?
Now, first of all, as we're filming this isn't confirmed that he is out.
Yeah, it's just rumoured.
that he could be.
Yeah.
But if he is out, that is pretty big because he was out for a huge chunk of last year and we did miss him a lot more than what I thought we would.
Yeah?
Because he actually does add a lot. So I'd prefer him down the middle than I would
Yeah.
on the edge, but I'm happy for him to play either.
He was middle last year, right? And they've moved
Yes,
him to
but
the edge.
that will mean if he is out, which would be a shame, it'd give the chance for some of our younger forwards like
Or-
David Mawali, Tallis Duncan.
Or do you think they'll pick Jacob Host?
Yes and no. But Jacob Host will still be in and out of that side,
Yeah.
which, fair enough. But he's been there for a while, but it will give the chance for one of the young guys to come up in on the bench.
Yeah, true.
But I'd hate for Joe Arrow to be. I love the guy, love the way he plays.
Great bloke.
And I think, I don't know if you've seen this, in the South documentary, they did a question asking all the players, and they said, what's your goal for 2024?
Yeah.
And Joe Arrow's answer was to have an injury-free year. So if this has happened, that would just... I don't know if you've seen the clip before.
haven't,
I'll try and
but
find it
that's
and send it to you, but
heartbreaking.
that's heartbreaking.
That is heartbreaking.
I don't know if I imagined that, but I'm pretty certain that's
Oh.
what I saw. And I'm like, oh no.
I've said
Now
it so many
we're round
times,
one as
Zane.
well.
Injury is just the worst part of sport. Like, imagine how much better sport would be without injuries. It's
I know.
insane. The
And
Bulldogs
Jai
would've
Arrow
won on the
suffered so
weekend.
much, like in the last few years as well.
And especially like he's got a bit of personality. I love it when Queensland. Obviously, I hate when Queensland win Origin, but when they win Origin, you always see Jai Arrow's personality.
Yeah,
kind of
the
live with-
cockroach hat, yeah.
He had the cockroach hat
Oh,
on.
that's the cane toad, isn't it?
Oh yeah, sorry, yeah.
Yeah, no.
Usually those are cockroaches, but yeah, the cane toad hat. Was it Jai Arrow's dog that ate another dog?
Yeah,
That was his dog, wasn't
no,
it?
yeah.
And then
but
and then attacked the coach's
That's a
dog.
rumor as well.
Attacked the coach's
That's
dog.
a rumor.
And then they fell out of the 8 off the back of the team
that's
around you.
all a
The
rumor.
Jai Arrow's dog.
There's no evidence that actually happened.
Next question, another sort of Bulldogs one, but once again, you can answer this. How will Reid Marnie perform this year?
Phew, I don't know.
Yeah.
That's a hard question. You're going to have to ask Reid.
Well, yeah,
Reid
you're
that.
gonna have to ask Reid.
I don't speak to him
Yeah.
personally, so
Yeah, unfortunately, I don't speak to him personally either.
I
but
think he'll have a better year.
I've
I
got-
think he'll really try and control and guide that side this year.
That's
We'll
ironic
have to
that
wait
you
and
said
see.
that because my answer is he needs to have a better year. He needs to
does.
be better than he was, not just last year, but also on the weekend he was pretty poor as well. So the Bulldogs need a lot more from Reid Marnie. I think that him losing the captaincy could be good for him, frees him up a little bit, frees him of responsibility and stuff. But yeah, he needs to be better. This one's a pretty easy question. Well, this is actually a statement, Zane, but we'll see how you react. Somebody said that the Broncos are going to beat South this week.
Have to wait and see, won't we? We'll have to wait and see our tips. But believe it or not, one of those sides will be going 0-2 this season.
Yeah.
Believe it, unless there's
Wild.
a draw, which is very unlikely.
You never
but
know.
You never know.
You
But
never
we'll
know.
have to wait and see on that.
My touch team on Thursdays is actually relying on a draw to win the season. We need another game to have a tie for us to be able to come first. I've missed the last couple of weeks and my team lost games when I wasn't there, just quietly. Not to flex. 2 more questions, Zane. How many weeks should a coach wait before making unforced changes to a side?
Oh, it depends on the way they're performing, I guess. Like,
Yeah. Well, say obviously, say they're performing
I'd say
not well.
3 maybe.
Yeah?
3 to 4 probably. If they're not performing right, I'd just give them 3 to 4 weeks to try and prove themselves.
Like,
If
say
they
the
can't after
Bulldogs
that
as an
point-
example. Like, how long would you wait to make changes in, your Drew Hutchison, your Blake Taft?
Yeah, I'd say 3 to 4 weeks to
Yeah.
tell the truth, yeah.
I've actually got the exact
About
same
a
answer
month,
written down. Yeah,
so.
I'd say I think you give them 3 weeks, and then if they're not performing after 3 weeks, if it's really bad, you make change after 3. Otherwise, you sort of sit back and wait. But I think at least 3 to 4, just to give them a chance. Like, you can't judge off 1 game, 2 games as well. But then after two games, if they're still playing bad, I don't think it's coincidence. I think they're probably just not very good. And then the last question, then this one is actually an absolute ripper. This question came in at the very last minute when I was typing these up as well. I'm glad I caught it. If you could add 1 non-rep player to your side, who would it be?
Non-rep player.
Yeah,
so someone who's never played.
Somebody who hasn't played Origin or international footy. I'm happy to ignore, like, if they've played for Lebanon or
Never
Fiji and stuff,
never
but-
played in their life.
Yeah. So it says rep player. They said like
So
one
they have
player.
to currently be playing rep.
Well, I've got an answer for both because I was looking through. So I'll give my answer while you have a think about it.
No, let me think.
So I've gone because obviously, as you just said, I'm not sure if it's has never played rep or if it's currently. So I was looking at fullbacks and halfbacks.
I'm
Because
trying
that's
to
what,
think because on the weekend there's one that I might actually say.
There's the Bulldogs really need halfbacks and fullbacks, and so I looked through all the halfbacks, and nearly all of them are playing rep footy. But I landed
You
on.
want me to say mine first?
I was going to give mine
And it's
to give you
based
time
off
to
the
think.
Jai
I was in
Arrow
the middle of
injury.
saying mine, but no, you go.
I don't know if he's played rep before. I don't remember him. He might have. Based of the weekend, if we're missing a second row, I'm going Bryce Cartwright. If he's in the form he's in now.
Yeah, that's fair enough. He's a smoky for New. I just want to see has he
I don't
played
think
New
he.
South
I don't
Wales?
remember him playing Origin.
I feel like he might have been in a squad but never played.
I don't remember him being in a squad either. To tell the truth.
No, it doesn't look like it. So that's a pretty good pick. Yeah.
Take Cartwright.
I was looking at halfbacks and fullbacks. I landed on Adam Reynolds, who isn't currently playing rep
Yeah,
footy.
he has
but
played.
he has played for New South Wales.
But that is a good selection.
So if he's not allowed, I went through all the halfbacks, and the best halfback not playing rep footy is probably Sam Walker at the moment.
Yeah.
And so I went, I'll take Scott Drinkwater.
He's
at
played Origin. Played last year.
Did
On
he
the bench.
play?
He played on the bench.
No, I thought he was just 18th
In
man.
game 3. Oh, he might have been.
I didn't think he played.
But I thought in that game, that was the game when they had Gufferson, Drinkwater, they had all.
Let me have a look. I
Might
should
have
have.
been 18th man.
I thought he was.
I don't remember that far.
I thought he was 18th man. I'm going to review it because I might just be completely cheating this. I went Adam Reynolds, which is already cheating the system. That's not what we want. I'm looking at a preview for game 3. Here we go. New South Wales team list. Please don't be in here because I want you in the Bulldogs. No, he was 18th man. Gutho on the bench. So I'm taking Scotty Drinkwater. I think he'd add so much to the Bulldogs too, just quietly.
Yes.
And then I've also got down Jake Averillo, lol.
That's one I probably should have.
I want Jake Averillo back.
That's one probably tempted me as well if I thought of him, to tell you the truth.
But yeah, I like when I was going through the halfbacks of every team, like so many play rep footy. Like you got Adam Reynolds has played for New South Wales.
Even the other talking point at South is the halfback position.
Yeah, true. They could do with a halfback.
I'd love to say Adam Reynolds, but
who would you take, Ilias or Sam Walker?
Ilias,
yeah,
definitely. But if I'm looking for probably more experience, if Ilias doesn't work, I'd say someone like Jamal Fogarty even.
Yeah, Fogarty was up there as.
Actually, I've just thought of a good one. I don't know how no one said this one.
Yeah.
Pappenhausen. Pappenhausen.
Yeah, very true.
Easily.
Very true.
I'm
going to take him over Scotty Drinkwater. He's injury prone, but if he stays healthy, which he's the thing with his injuries is that they're not the same injury over and over. It's always a different freak injury. Like his ankle was a freak injury. That doesn't ever happen.
And even someone Luke Brooks.
I thought about Luke Brooks because I went through all the halves of every team, and there was like Daly Cherry Evans, Nathan Cleary, Kieran Four, and like just all these players that have played. Jerome Hughes, New Zealand, Tonga Samoa, like they've all played at some stage. But that is our Instagram questions. Make sure if you don't already follow us on Instagram, _. We're like 5 followers short of 1,000, Zane. So we're very close to the 1K mark. And if you follow us there, or if you don't follow us, but you check the stories, you can leave a question for next week. Before we get into our lovely round 2 predictions where we go and tip all the games incorrectly, let's do our kit of the week brought to you by the Vintage Thread, the number 1 NRL graphic.
Like mine because I know people hate this jersey.
It's kit of the week brought to you by the number 1. What was I going to say? The number 1 graphic tees, sports graphic tees. Go follow them. The Vintage Thread _. They made the infamous 2024 Premiers t-shirt that Emilio the Savage himself has one, the Troll Mitt one. They've just made our good friend Hainsey, in fact. Let's give Hainsey a call.
Give him a call.
Let's give Hainsey a call right now, and he's going to leave a live review of the shirt that he has had made of Jared Weir-Hargraves 300.
Let's see if he answers.
See if he answers. Jared Weir-Hargraves playing his 300th this week, and Hainsey had a custom shirt made by the Vintage Thread for the occasion. So we'll call him and we'll get a live customer review. Did he answer?
Hello?
Put it
You're
close
live
to
on Orange
the mic.
Feelers right now.
Put it close to the mic. Hainsey.
Am I?
Can you just give us a live review of your experience with the Vintage Thread making the Jared Weir-Hargraves 300th t-shirt?
Who is this?
Are you... What? Oh, no, beauty. This is why we don't let you back on the podcast, Hainsey. You can't be trusted, mate.
Turn it up. No. It was, it's good so far. All to be revealed at round 3. Hopefully, fingers crossed, Jared doesn't do anything stupid this weekend and he gets through this weekend. And round 3, he's available to play his 300th game. So looking forward to that.
Yeah, lose the South. Yeah. 300th game.
Shout out to Vintage Freds.
Yeah, what was your experience with them, designing that shirt and stuff? You happy with the design?
Yeah, done a great job. It was just thanks anyway, Winston, because you've promoted that brand for a while now with your design on that and obviously stuff. But yeah, I was like, I might give it a go. Obviously, Jared's 300 is a big occasion, and looking forward to the final result and all to be revealed on next Friday night.
Well, yeah, the biggest occasions deserve the best shirts, Hainsey. I've always said that.
Exactly right, and it's a big occasion as well. The biggest rivalry in rugby league. Jared's.
It'd be good to see him lose. Like 300.
All right, well, we'll let you go, Hainsey. We'll let you go, Hainsey. We got
get too chirpy. South Sydney have never won a regular season home game at Allianz Stadium, so.
Records are made to be broken.
Put your house on the Chookies, baby.
Quotation mark Winston Neville, put your house on the Chooks. Next Friday.
Put your house on the Chooks. I'm pretty sure another podcast owns that saying now, Hainsey. Sorry.
Oh, yeah, look.
All right, we'll let you go, mate. We got to get into our round 2 predictions.
We'll
but
let you go.
Always a pleasure, mate.
No,
Goodbye, Hainsey.
There you go. That's a live vintage thread ad for you guys. I don't know if I'm going to leave all that in.
Anyway,
we'll see how the edit goes. But yeah, Zane, your kid of the week, mate.
One
What did you land
that
on?
people don't like, it's the Storms.
Yeah?
Love it.
Yeah. Very
Absolutely
much.
love it.
I
I don't know
went...
why people don't, because I think it's incredible.
It looks sick. It looks
does.
sick. My kid of the week is the Storm, but I went with the Storm Panthers matchup, the purple on pink.
Yes.
How many sports
And
do
people
you
want
see?
the Panthers to change to the pink. They think it's getting old now. I disagree.
I'm pro them
Pink is
changing it to
unique
like
and I
chocolate
like it.
soldiers or teal, but the pink works.
White could work as well,
And
but I just love the
The
pink
white,
for
they did
Panthers.
white for. I'd like to see him go back to chocolate soldiers as an away jersey. I really would.
Yeah.
I think that'd be
Also like the
sick.
brown sort of, yeah.
I think that'd be sick. But name another sport where you see a pink team come up
No,
against
that's
a purple
why I
team.
like it.
Yeah,
That's
I
why I
love
like
it.
it.
It reminded me of when they played in the prelim final in 21. It would have been.
Yeah, pink versus purple.
Yeah.
Then.
And it was a cracker game again. So shout out to the Storm. Great jerseys. I don't know why everyone hates it. And shout out to the Pink Panthers. It's so nostalgic. In my opinion, it is getting a bit old and I would like to see them change it up. But it's so nostalgic.
It is.
I used to think they only did it, and maybe this is the reason they did it. But I used to only think they did it because of like oat milk and strawberry milk. That's what I thought they had. I thought it was like a strawberry milk jersey. Let's get into the round 2 preview, Zane. I know you're keen for the Thursday night.
Get better.
Broncos.
2 from 8 last week from both of us. Terrible.
Terrible. I started 2 from 2. Well, we should have just left it at that. But Broncos South, Zane, where is your head
I'm,
at?
of course, backing my Rabbitohs in this one with confidence. I'm confident we can go up there and win. I'm going to back Cameron Murray to score. I'm going to say it's 1-12.
Fair enough. I'm going Broncos 1-12, and I'm going Jesse Arthurs to score a try.
Can't dish you for it.
I do just want to preface again quickly. Team lists aren't out for another 40 minutes. So when we're picking try scorers, they might not get named. If they don't get named,
I'm saying Murray because it's pretty likely he will play.
And same with Arthurs.
Can't
but
see well where he
if
gets
a
dropped.
player does get ruled out, we'll just take the player that replaces them.
Yes,
Or
fair enough.
not the player that comes into the squad, the player that plays in that position. So, for example, if Jesse Arthurs gets ruled out,
Whoever's in the...
whoever's on the, is he right?
Oh,
or left?
wherever he is,
Whatever.
yeah.
If he's right wing, whoever comes on the right wing, if they bring like a forward into the
I'd say it'd be
lineup
like
somehow,
Corey Oates or something.
yeah. But yeah, you go not the player that comes into the squad, but also the player that plays that position. Just in case like a player comes into the squad, but there's a reshuffling, you don't want to get too stitched up. But yeah, that's my tip for that one. And then Sharks Bulldogs is the Friday 6 p.m. game at Shark Park.
I'm backing the Sharks 13 plus here.
Shocking.
And I'm going to go Ronaldo Mulatalo, who may be injured, but I don't care because someone on that wing should
Probably
surely score.
Iro.
Yeah.
Which isn't a bad tip.
That's my tip for that game. I think Sharks win well.
I'll give you the hot tip. Every time we play Sharks in the past few years,
They annihilate
they have flogged us, especially at Shark Park. I remember last year.
Yeah,
this is
it was like 42 or
Yeah, there's a
something.
little yarn
Hazelton
for you.
went over.
It was during Origin. Fox was not playing. I think Burden was not playing. Kyle Flanagan, it was his return after being dropped to New South Wales Carp. Obviously, Kyle Flanagan, now one of the great 5'8" in the game. Shout out to him. But yeah, Bulldog Sharks played. They flogged us. I think it was maybe 48-6
Yeah,
or
something like that.
Something
I
crazy.
don't think it was that much. I think
Let
it
me
was
check.
48-16, something like that.
Let's get the numbers right. We've got a laptop in front of us, may as well. 48-10. I was close.
Okay, so yeah, it was
I was close. So 48-10, nearly cracked the 50. And I remember leaving Shark Park after watching that game, thinking, this is like so ironic. I left that game thinking like, this is the worst game I've ever sat through live. Like that was just not once did we look like winning or scoring. Every time they had the ball, they were going to score. That was my worst live experience of rugby league. The next week we had the bye. The week after that, we lost 66-0 to the Knights, and that became my worst live experience. So that's my fond memory of Shark Park last year, and it was at the time my worst experience, and then things went from bad to worse. In saying all that, I'm on the Dogs 1-12 this week. I think the Dogs get the job done. It's 2024. They've got to click eventually because they're winning the comp. Sharks, they're flying back from New Zealand. They might be jet lagged. And my try scorer, it's Matt Burden. Burden to score. Dogs 1-12. And then the real Friday night game, the Bulldogs Sharks, that's just a warm up because Panthers Eels blockbuster.
I reckon game of the round. I don't know who the tippy is.
Game of the year. That's what I'm saying. I'm calling.
Oh, I'm just going to go Penrith.
Yeah.
Bounce back. They can't lose 2 in a row, can they?
Yeah, that's my theory.
I'll go Taylor May to finally get it right this week and get over.
He played good last week. Not to take away from him, he did play.
And when I
good
say
last week,
1-12, I mean like 2.
Yeah,
like a
Nathan
tight
Cleary.
game.
Remember when they first played last year, and Nathan Cleary hit the 2-point field goal to tie it, and then Moses kicked a field goal to win it.
Yeah.
What a game that was. I'm also going Panthers. As you said, surely they can't lose 2 in a row. It is at Penrith. But the Eels, I came very close to tipping the Eels. They have the
I'm
Penrith
tempted
Panthers
to as
phone
well.
number in the regular season. There's no doubt about it.
Penrith can't lose 2 in a row, can
Surely.
they? Can't. It just,
But if anyone's beating the Panthers,
it's Parramatta.
it is the Eels. They genuinely there's the joke that Parramatta are Panthers' sons. When it comes to regular season, the Eels are the Panthers' dads. The Eels just kill them in regular season every time. In saying that, as I said, I am on Panthers 1-12. I'm so tempted to change, honestly, but I will stick with Panthers 1-12. I learned my lesson changing last week.
Who's next to you?
I'm on Cleary,
Raiders.
and I'm on Cleary to score a try.
Okay.
I think I'm expecting a big bounce back from him, and then Raiders, Tigers. The Tigers get
This
to
one's
start their
interesting 'cause
campaign.
The Raiders have a history of just annihilating the Tigers in games.
Yeah,
Like, I remember 2016. It was
there are
like 60 to
rumours as
6 or
well.
something.
There's rumours that Lockie Galvin's going to be 5'8", not Aiden Caesar. So I'm
Okay.
gonna have to change my Supercoach side.
So who? Wait, 5'8".
So Sullivan and Galvin.
Okay, so
Or
Sullivan's going to do
maybe
halfback,
halfback. I assume Sullivan will be halfback.
Okay,
But it could be
that's-
Galvin. But they're the halves.
You know what my take is? I'm going to actually go Tigers to win.
Really?
Yeah,
Yeah. Okay. By how much?
1-12.
And try scorer. The Tigers.
Oh my god, Justin Olam.
He's out.
He's out. Oh,
Yeah.
well, there we go.
He's injured.
I was like,
He's injured.
let's go Dream Buller.
I helped you out
I
there.
just reckon first game of the year, let's get the
Fair
Tigers
enough.
getting upset.
They looked all right in the trials.
Raiders played okay last. I don't know. This is.
I'm on-
Yeah,
I'm
I
on-
need an upset. So
I'm on
I'll
Raiders.
pick the Tigers.
I'm
to
on
win.
Raiders 13+. They seem to annihilate them. They showed us
Yeah,
last
they
week that
do.
they can win 13+. I'm not sure
The
about
Tigers going to lose by that much in their first game of the year.
the thing that concerns me is nothing against Galvin or Sullivan as individual players, but both of them in the halves together. Allegedly, they've killed it in off-season, but two very inexperienced young halves together
Yeah, that's an
doesn't
issue,
give me
yeah.
much hope. My try scorer is Jordan Rapana.
Okay, yeah.
I have no reason to
you're
pick back
tempting
him.
me,
That's
but I
just
want
who
to
I've
pick an
backed.
upset. So.
Yeah, fair enough. Next game, Cowboys Knights in North Queensland.
I'm actually going Cowboys 13+. I reckon this will be another high-scoring game.
Yeah,
A lot of
fair
tries
enough.
from both sides.
Try scorer,
Let's go drink water. Back at Townsville.
Scotty Drink Bloke.
Yep.
I'm also on Cowboys, but I've gone 1-12.
You reckon Knights will give him a fight?
I just feel like Cowboys. I don't think
I was
every
just
game's
very
going to be as
impressed by last week.
easy as it was last week. I think they were very good, but I don't know if it's going to be that easy again. I think Knights maybe a lift for this one, so I'm going 1-12, but I think a high 1-12, like 10 or 12. Like
Yeah.
a high 1-12, and I'm going Holmes to score a try, just a safe option.
Rate it. I rate it.
Storm Warriors back in remember
So this is in Melbourne, right?
it's in Melbourne. I remember back when Storm used to put like 70 on the Warriors, but this is anyone's game.
I'm actually going to say Storm 13+ still
Yeah,
at home.
yeah, fair enough. I
Warriors got to bounce back because they'd be so disappointed the way they lost
Very.
last week. But I just think the Storm will have more in them than what
Yeah.
the Warriors do.
try scorer.
Let's go Paps.
Paps?
I'm going all
I
the
like
fullbacks,
it.
aren't I? Here?
Yeah, you are. You're on the fullback special. I'm also on Storm 13+. I think Storm win and win well. I'm going Xavier Coates to score a try. Just another safe option. I'm
Yes.
trying to get my points up here, Zane. Trying to get those points up. Manly Roosters. This will be a good game.
Is it?
I reckon.
My hot takes Manly at Brookvale.
It's Brookvale on a Sunday afternoon.
Yes,
Keep that in
I'm
mind.
going Manly 1-12.
Yeah.
I'm going to go Saab to score.
Yeah, nice. I like that. I'm going Roosters.
Actually, he's Saab playing. He's injured, isn't he?
actually, you're right. He is
He is injured. Or
He
the
is
other
injured.
winger. Forgot who it was.
Not Garrick. He's centre.
Actually, no, I'll go
Cooler?
Garrick, actually. You know,
You go
actually,
Garrick?
Garrick's a good
That's
shout in
fair.
a daytime game.
Who was the other? I feel bad now for forgetting the other winger. We should know that. Let me have a look. Garrick, Cooler, Saab. Paulo?
It was Paulo.
Paulo? It was A.
It was Paulo
Yeah,
last time.
Jackson Paulo.
I'll go Garrick, though. I think Garrick's a bit safer.
I'm
than
going
Pitt then.
Roosters 1-12. I was very impressed with them in Vegas, but
Impressed by
Brookvale
both
Sunday
sides.
afternoon.
I was
Yeah,
impressed by
Manly
both
impressed
sides.
me as well, to be fair. And yeah, Brookvale Sunday afternoon is scary as. And my try scorer, James Tedesco. Killed it in Vegas.
There we
Didn't
go.
score a try. Probably deserved one. And then the last game of the week, Dragons and Dolphins in Redcliffe.
Dragons 1-12. I won't say 13+. I think Dolphins will be a lot better this week.
Yeah,
I
way
reckon this will
better.
be like a 20-12 sort of margin. You know, not high scoring, but just Dragons will have enough to get it done.
Yeah. Try scorer.
Dragons starting 2-0.
Kyle Flanagan, Tyler Sloan.
I'll go Ben Hunt.
Ben Hunt?
I'll go Ben Hunt.
Usually
yeah.
when Dragons win, Ben Hunt scores a try.
Yeah,
I'll tell you
usually.
what, we called out random stats guy earlier. I want that as a stat as well. How many games have the Dragons
I swear
won
we
where Ben Hunt
noticed it
scores?
last year. Every time,
Yeah.
I noticed the stat that he always scores in Wollongong.
Yeah,
that was
yeah,
The other, but
yeah.
this isn't Wollongong,
But yeah,
is it?
I swear that every time they win, Ben Hunt scores a try. I don't know, it's weird. I'm also Dragons 1 to 12. They impressed me last week. They were very good. And just another safe option, I'm going Michaeli Ravalawa. Because I want to get some points. I remember last year,
like it.
If you're a loyal listener of Orange Peelers and you watched last year, Zane absolutely dominated me every single week in the tipping, in the points. And so this year I'm like, nah, I need to stop being smoky and I need to get some points on the board. That's us done for this week, Zane. Good luck on Thursday night.
Yes, South of Thursday
South's
night,
trying
aren't
to-
they?
yeah.
And I keep thinking we're Friday,
Yes,
but no.
make sure you don't miss
Usually
it.
would be Broncos Friday night.
Yeah, usually.
Para Penrith are usually the Thursday game.
Yeah,
but yeah, no,
true.
it's different.
But yeah,
This year.
South's trying to get their first win of the year. And I heard you're coming to Shark Park.
Oh, am I?
Nah.
You might send
You
me
should be
around
going to Brisbane,
Belmore
mate.
the week after.
Yeah, never know. All right, that'll do us, baby. Let's trot.